Hey, welcome to the Explainer. So, everybody is talking about AI, right? But in the boardroom, the real conversation is all about ROI. How do we turn these massive investments in AI into actual measurable results for the business? All right, let's get right into it because the answer, well, it's probably not what you think. Okay, first up, we have to deal with a pretty staggering number. According to a recent Google Cloud report, a whopping 70% of large-scale AI transformations fail to deliver on what they promised. 70%. Think about that. That is a huge risk for any company that's betting its future on artificial intelligence. But here's the mystery, the paradox at the heart of all this. That same report, it shows that 88% of the early adopters are actually seeing a positive return. So, if the small-scale projects and pilots work, why does it all seem to fall apart when companies try to scale up? What's the missing piece of the puzzle here? Well, that missing link, it turns out, is a framework called Integrated Process Excellence, or IPE for short. And the whole idea behind it is simple, but it is so powerful. Technology, by itself, is never, ever, ever enough. So what is it exactly? Well, think of it this way. IPS is a system that takes the hardcore discipline from the manufacturing world, precision, measurement, consistency, and it applies that same thinking to every single process in a company. The bottom line? It's all about building a rock-solid operational foundation before you even think about building your fancy AI house on top of it. And this isn't just some abstract theory. It's a really practical four-step framework. You kick things off by really digging in and documenting how your processes actually work today. Then, you communicate that standard across the board. From there, you measure everything and control the performance, which creates this culture where getting better, step by step, just becomes the new norm. And here is the most crucial part. IPE is the thing that saves companies from what we call pilot purgatory. That frustrating place where a promising AI experiment just never makes it to the big leagues? It's the bridge that connects the incredible potential of AI tech with the day-to-day reality of how your business actually gets work done. Okay, so let's get specific. How does this framework actually solve the real-world problems that are causing that 70% failure rate? Let's take a look at the biggest hurdles that Google Cloud's report pointed out. The number one thing companies are pouring money into is change management. A full 42% of organizations say that getting the business and the tech teams on the same page for user adoption is their absolute top priority. You see, this isn't a tech problem, it's a people and a process problem. And right here, you can see this fundamental split in how companies are approaching this. The common way? AI gets treated like just another IT project, walled off in its own little silo. The IP's approach completely flips that on its head. It says no, AI is an operational capability, and it has to be owned and driven by the business leaders who actually know the workflows and know what success looks like. That shift in ownership, it's everything. When the business is in the driver's seat, user adoption isn't some afterthought you tack on at the end. It's the entire reason you're doing the project in the first place. It makes sure the solution is built for the people who are actually going to use it, and that drives real change from the ground up. And right up there with change management at 41% is data quality. And that's no surprise, right? We've all heard it a million times. Garbage in, garbage out. AI is pretty useless without good data. But man, actually getting that clean data is a massive challenge. The way most people do it is totally reactive. We try to clean up messy data after the fact, which feels like a never-ending battle, right? IPE, with that manufacturing mindset, is proactive. It builds data governance and quality checks right into the DNA of your business processes from day one. So instead of constantly putting out data fires, you're creating a system that just naturally produces clean, structured, high-quality data. You're building the very foundation that these powerful AI models absolutely need to deliver reliable, trustworthy results. So what's the third big hurdle? Integration. Nearly a third of organizations, 28%, say that just getting AI to play nice with their existing systems is a top challenge. I mean, it's one thing to have a cool new AI tool. It's a whole other thing to make it actually work with all the other stuff you rely on. And this is really where you see the difference between getting a small, isolated win and a real company-wide transformation. The typical approach, you get these little pockets of improvement, a chatbot here, a content tool there. But IPE uses tools like process mapping to see the entire system, making sure AI is integrated in a way that creates value from start to finish. And this right here gets to the absolute core of the problem. Most AI pilots fail because they lack what we call systems thinking. They solve one tiny problem but don't consider the ripple effects. IPE forces you to zoom out and see the whole picture, making sure an improvement in one area doesn't just create a new problem somewhere else down the line. So, okay, IPE clearly helps you dodge these common bullets, but it's not just about playing defense and preventing failure, it's also about going on offense, about actively accelerating your wins and squeezing every last drop of value out of that AI investment. And the potential here is just astronomical. Check this out. The Google Cloud report found that 39% of organizations have seen employee productivity at least double thanks to generative AI. Double. But the big question is, how do you make those amazing gains actually stick around? This is where that IPE framework is just so powerful. It gives you the machinery to make those gains permanent. First, it helps you systematically pinpoint the best tasks to automate for the biggest impact. Then, it helps you eliminate all the gunk and waste in the process to lock in that efficiency. And finally, it uses standardized work to stop what's called AI drift. Where people slowly, unconsciously slide back into their old, inefficient habits. And this impact, it stretches across the entire business. For customer experience, it makes sure you're improving the whole journey, not just making one little touch point better while the rest suffers. For business growth, it helps you get products to market way faster. For marketing, for security, it brings a level of discipline and integration that just makes everything more consistent and less risky. It's a truly holistic solution. Which brings us right back to where we started. If you're building an AI strategy, you need more than just cool tech. You need this missing link. The data here could not be clearer. Getting the C-suite on board is absolutely critical. Companies with that top-level sponsorship see a significantly higher rate of ROI. And the reason IP connects so well here is that it speaks their language. It isn't a bunch of tech jargon. It's a business transformation methodology that's focused on operational excellence and results you can actually measure. And this quote just puts a perfect bow on it. The big tech players, they provide the incredibly powerful AI tools. But IP provides the essential operational framework you need to actually deploy those tools effectively and get real results. It's the other absolutely necessary piece of the puzzle. So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. As you push forward with your own AI plans, ask yourself this. Is your investment built just on exciting new technology, or is it built on a true framework for transformation? Because honestly, the answer to that question could be the difference between being in the 30% that succeed and the 70% that don't.